Hello guys and welcome back to EFL Championship predictions for yet another week. I am joined by the wonderful Sophie. How are you?
Yeah, I am very well, thank you, because Coventry are flying right now.
Coventry are flying and there's some big games to talk about, especially at the top end of the Championship. Before we get into the predictions for this week, guys, be sure to drop a like on the video. Let's go for 1,900. Your support is always amazing, so let's blow the roof off this place by hitting the like button and hitting the subscribe button. Honestly, thank you so much for your support this season. It has been incredible, hasn't it?
Exactly.
The scores from last week, bear in mind there was also 2 midweek games we caught up on, are there. Myself and Sophie both bashed out loads of points. Look at that. I'm still in the lead, Sophie, but you're not too far behind.
No, you did very well and I did quite well, so...
I did. I did. On to the predictions for this week, Sophie. And there's only 10 games, by the way. We've got 2 midweek games, and then we've got weekend games that are spread out a little bit because it's the FA Cup weekend. We are back before next Tuesday, by the way, for the next lot of Championship predictions. Let's start with a big game down at the bottom, Sophie. Cardiff City versus Hull City. It's the 2 teams that are directly above the bottom 3. Right now, I think Derby, Plymouth and Luton look like the 3 that will go. I think Cardiff and Hull right now are going to survive, but it just takes 1 or 2 results for things to change.
Yeah.
And this is a big game where you can't really afford to lose this because you become the sitting duck. If you lose this, you're the team that the bottom 3 are going to be trying to claw at.
Yeah.
I fancy Hull City a little bit more, especially after that great win at Sunderland. Remember, no one's won at Sunderland this season.
No, I know.
Obviously, the goalkeeper messes up. I don't know what Patterson's doing there. But, you know, Cardiff, they got a draw at Plymouth, which is better than losing. Obviously, they were winning and then they got a red card. With Cardiff having the home advantage, I don't think they're going to lose, but I do fancy Hull a bit more. I might go for a draw. Ruben Sellers has made Hull City a better away team, actually. I'm going to go 1-1.
Yeah, I think Hull might back up their amazing away win against Sunderland with an amazing win against Cardiff. I'm going to say 2-1 to the Tigers. I think they're going to make it 2 wins on the bounce. I think Cardiff can make it very, very tricky. Ultimately, both teams don't want to lose because they are very, very close to that relegation zone. But I think right now, Hull will do it. So, 2-1. It's
a massive game. Like I say, is it the kind of game which is more important to win or to not lose?
I think to not lose, to be honest, because they're both so close. So you don't really want to give the other team the points. But that's why I think it could be like a later on goal.
I think because they're above the bottom 3 and not in the bottom 3, a draw might not be a disaster.
It's not a disaster, but you don't want to lose more than drawing, so it's a point, isn't it?
Do share your thoughts down below. It's a really nail-biting fixture to predict. The next game, Sophie, is at Stoke City. They are also in the relegation mix-up. They take on Middlesbrough, who are not really in the playoff race at the minute. I think Middlesbrough have to win this to, really get back on track. If they lose this, I struggle to see them making the playoffs, and I really struggle to see Michael Carrick lasting a lot longer.
It's Carrick versus Robbins.
And I was just about to come on to that. Stoke City have not massively impressed me. I mean, they lost 4-2 at Norwich. Baker gets a couple of goals. They're able to score, but defensively they're quite vulnerable. But we know Mark Robbins loves playing Michael Carrick, and I think he could put a nail in his coffin.
I think so as well. I'm backing Stoke.
Stoke 2-1.
Yeah, I'm backing Stoke 2-1.
I'm sorry, Middlesbrough fans, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but the form they're in right now, it's like relegation form. They're in very, very poor form. But then Mark Robbins just has Michael Carrick's number, so this could be a nice fixture for Stoke. They're not playing amazingly right now. They are quite fragile at the back. They are scoring though, so that is a positive. And I think they'll do it. Yeah, 2-1.
It'd be a big win for Stoke City, but Middlesbrough, they've got to get something, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
It's a massive game. Do share your thoughts on that one down below. Let's move on to Friday night's game, Sophie, and I like the look of this one. 2 big clubs with passionate fan bases. It's Sheffield Wednesday versus Sunderland. How will this one play out? I'm not sure. Both of them come into this on the back of back-to-back defeats.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday lost to Coventry City in the last minute and then obviously lost 4-0 to Burnley. It wasn't necessarily a 4-0 game, but...
No, second half they weren't very good, but first half they were very good, so...
I wonder, could they beat Sunderland? Because Sunderland lost to Leeds and that game felt like that's it for Sunderland's top two hopes. And then it was really compounded by a defeat at home to Hull City. And the manner of the defeat as well is pretty horrible.
Yep.
I think Sunderland will finish in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that they might stagnate a bit between now and the end of the season, and they could go into the playoffs with absolutely no momentum, and that's a problem if they come up against Coventry. And I'm not just saying that as a Coventry fan, but if Coventry are charging into the playoffs at 100 miles per hour,
or like another team, if they start putting win,
Norwich,
get that momentum.
Norwich, West Brom maybe. Sunderland need to try and find some fight. 2 on Wednesday. I think Danny Roll is going to get them back in the playoff race. You know, they're definitely involved, and I think they're going to win this game.
Yeah, I just feel like Sunderland, they can't lose another one, so they might just set up to take a draw here.
Another one?
Another one? 1-1. I'm going down the middle. I can see why you've backed Wednesday, but I just really feel like Sunderland, just for like the morale right now, they can't take another defeat, surely.
Is a draw any good for either of them?
I don't think that's a terrible result for Sunderland if their aim is to finish high up in the playoff spots. I think top two is probably done now, to be honest. I know Wednesday are fighting for a playoff place, so they'll want the win. I just see a draw playing out though.
No, fair enough. Do share your thoughts, Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland fans. Sticking with the playoff race, there's a big game at Ewood Park on Saturday, Sophie, lunchtime. Blackburn take on Norwich City. Oh, this is hard, isn't it?
It is.
This is really tough because Blackburn still haven't appointed someone right now, but by Saturday they might have. They did have a no manager bounce, but then they got squashed by Swansea's no manager bounce at the weekend, 3-0. I can't make sense out of Blackburn. I think they're a good team when they want to be. I think they pull out a couple of decent results. Like, they'll get a win and they'll still be there, but then they'll lose. And I think they're going to be right involved until the end, but they're just not very consistent. Norwich, they've not been very consistent either, but you do sense with the best players now back and the goals going in, things might just be clicking. With it being at Ewood Park, I might go for a draw. I'm going to go Blackburn 1, Norwich 1.
I thought we were going to go for the same scoreline then. I think it could be a Desmond. I think there could be a couple of goals here. Maybe if it was at Carrow Road, I'd probably lean more towards Norwich, especially because Blackburn did just weirdly get beat 3-0 by Swansea, who I can't even remember the last time they won a game. So that was a very, very poor result. But yeah, I think it's two, on their day, good teams going at it here. So cancel each other out, a few goals, 2-2.
Do you think they've both got a similar chance of making the playoffs right now? Because it feels like Norwich have got a bit more, I don't know, consistency and maybe stardust, but Blackburn have got more points on the board.
I know, that's what I was going to say. Like, they've already got the points, which sometimes that is what you're more focused on. Like, the points are already on the board, so
it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah,
it'd be a massive win for either, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And you know, disaster for either team to lose that. On to the next game, Sophie. We go to Ellen Road as Leeds United take on West Bromwich Albion. Let's start with Leeds, Sophie. What a win against Sheffield United in that crucial head-to-head game. That's them up for me now.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I did do a little reaction video yesterday to Sheffield United 1, Leeds 3 on the channel, so do be sure to check that video out. It was quite the game. Let's talk about West Brom, Sophie. They beat Oxford United 2-0 on the Saturday. Good win. Obviously, Sophie's not too impressed with this one because
I'm not.
She said 1-0 to West Brom. I said 2-0 to West Brom, and if it wasn't for the Oxford goalkeeper going up for a corner, West Brom might not have got that second goal, and my prediction wouldn't have been right, and Sophie's would have been right.
Yeah, like 101st minute. Stupid.
Yeah, 90 plus 11 actually. Yeah. I think West Brom are solid at home. I don't know if I like them away as much. And their next couple away games, Leeds, Burnley, Norwich, and they've still got Coventry and maybe Bristol City as well, I think. I don't think Leeds United are going to drop any more points at home for the rest of the season, if I'm honest. I really think they could just blast out all the wins. I'm going to go Leeds 2, West Brom 0.
Yeah, I might go Leeds 1-0. Oh no, I feel like this is going to backfire. I went West Brom 1-0 last time. You went West Brom 2-0. Leeds are probably going to score like a 90 plus 10 minute goal now. But it's tricky because Leeds are very, very good going forwards. And West Brom have looked a little bit fragile at the back. So, no, do you know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm not just saying 1-0 to be different. I think it's going to be Leeds 2-0. So I'm sticking with that. I'm not having it happen again. You
want to be like me. Good at predictions.
I'm trying though.
Do share your thoughts, guys. You don't see Leeds winning by 1 goal very often, do you? Especially at their place. They tend to win quite comfortably.
Yeah, I think the fact that they're at home as well is why I thought it probably wouldn't just be 1-0.
There you go. We're both back in Leeds 2-0. Let us know your thoughts. On to the next game, Sophie. Another lunchtime game on the Saturday. Oxford United take on the mighty Sky Blues. Two teams in very contrasting form at the moment. Oxford United, full credit to them for having that resurgence when Gary Rowett first came in, because they look very safe now. But have they taken their foot off the gas? They're not scoring.
Might just run out, I guess.
They look a little bit more vulnerable, but I still think they could make things difficult. It does feel like the kind of banana skin the old Coventry would slip up in. But is this the new Coventry that can get past banana skins? Because Coventry City have won 7 games in 8, and we were very good against Preston. I mean, we thoroughly deserved that. We should have won by more.
Yeah, we should have, to be fair. Their keeper, second half, was insane. And then actually looking back as well, Preston's goal shouldn't have even counted. It was a yard offside. The lino's just a mile behind play, so should have had a clean sheet as well.
Let's think. I think Coventry are going to win. There's not much to think about, is there? I mean, technically, it's the Championship. Anything could happen. But look, I said after Saturday's game, I'm right behind this team. I'm going to show my confidence and my trust in this team. I'm going to go for a bonus point. 4-1 Coventry.
Oh, so I'm saying 3-1 Coventry, and I thought that was quite confident. I love your one.
If we're at our best, we smash them.
If we're taking our chances, because we do create chances, then yeah, it could be devastating. I feel like we would have egg on our faces now if Oxford got something from this game, because we've gone so heavy in favour of Coventry. But momentum's on our side. We're playing some really nice football, especially first half against Preston, our bogey team. I thought we played very, very well. Rodoni is incredible. Oliver Dovin in goal. He's got a safe pair of hands. I do think that we'll concede 1 just because I don't trust that back line so much. I feel like if we take our chances, it should be a fairly comfortable one. So 3-1 Cov.
There you go, 3-1 and 4-1. Look at the confidence. This can't end well, can it?
No, I know.
Let's see. Play up Sky Blues. On to the next one, Sophie. We go to Kenilworth Road, where Luton Town take on Portsmouth. A big game down at the bottom. Or is it? Portsmouth look very safe now.
They do.
A good win against QPR, 2-1 win. Who predicted that?
Not me.
It was me. As for Luton Town, you predicted them to lose 2-0 to Watford, so you deserve credit for that.
I did. Yeah.
They did draw 1-1 with Plymouth in midweek, so it's not really a good week for Luton. They just need wins. Just try and win a game. I'm sure they're trying, but it doesn't look like it.
It genuinely doesn't look like it. I know you'd say like, no, of course they're trying to win a game. I don't think they are. I'm watching them and I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Do you know what?
Like they're content with going down. It's really odd.
Let's be very honest with our feelings. When Luton Town beat Coventry in that playoff final, I was a little bit envious, naturally, as a football fan. I was like, oh, damn it,
could have been us.
I wanted it to be us. But you know what? We took it on the chin. We moved on. And to be honest, now I feel sorry for the Luton fans.
Yeah.
I really do. They don't deserve this.
No.
This is really depressing. Possible back-to-back relegations. Yeah. I think Portsmouth are going to win.
I do as well.
Portsmouth are flying. Portsmouth look like a Championship team. Luton Town don't.
No.
Luton 0, Pompey 1, and I don't think Matt Bloomfield's even going to last the season.
Oh, who are they going to replace him with?
I don't know, but he can't just stay there.
Well, he did all right in League One with Wickham, so they might as well keep him, to be honest. No, but for me, they're going down.
I think Wickham are more likely to be in the Championship next year than Luton, yeah.
Yeah, they are. 2-1 Pompey. I can't back Luton right now. obviously I backed them to lose against Watford, and I thought maybe that's a little bit harsh because it's a derby game, they'll be up for that. They weren't at all. So I can't even expect them to be up for this game either. I think Portsmouth, the only thing that might work for Luton is that Portsmouth aren't as desperate for points right now, but ultimately they want to be a little bit more comfortable. So go and get the win. Their confidence has got to be higher than Luton, and I think they'll do it. 2-1.
It would make things more interesting for the neutral if Luton win, just to try and squeeze them all back closer together. But no, Portsmouth, as I say, just look the better team. They've got confidence in them, and well played Portsmouth, well played John Mousinho. On to the next game, Sophie. We go to the Riverside as Middlesbrough take on Derby County. Don't like this game. Obviously, Middlesbrough are playing in midweek. We've backed them to lose to Stoke. There is a possibility they could lose that and sack Carrick before this game, in which case they could have a no manager bounce or a new manager bounce. They could lose the Stoke game and still stick with Carrick, and he might win this game. I think
that's how I see it playing out, to be honest.
Either way I'm looking at this, I think Middlesbrough win this game.
Yeah.
Whether they beat Stoke or lose to Stoke, I think they beat Derby, because Derby are not great. I was really annoyed at the weekend because Derby were drawing 0-0 with Millwall going into the final seconds. I predicted 0-0. Sophie predicted 1-0. Sophie predicted 1-0 to Millwall, and Millwall scored in the 95th minute.
They missed a penalty, and you were laughing at me whilst we were walking up to the Cov ground going, Millwall have missed a penalty. And then, last few minutes, they've done it, 1-0. 1-0 Millwall. So that was karma, that.
Derby County make me sick. So
You're going to back them to lose now.
Yeah, so I can't...
Just because of that.
I can't imagine how the Derby County fans feel, because they probably feel very sick with their team.
Yeah.
John Eustace has got to try and get a reaction. Could he maybe grind out a 0-0 or a 1-0 win here? Possibly, but I'm not going to go for it. I'm going to go Middlesbrough 1-0.
I'm going to go Middlesbrough 2-0. I've backed them to lose against Stoke, so I think this will be the one where they get a reaction. They're at home. They're coming up against Derby, who equally are in pretty poor form because Middlesbrough are in poor form themselves. But I don't know. I just see them winning this one. 2-0.
There you go. Let us know your thoughts down below. Both back in Middlesbrough there. The next game, Sophie, is down in West London as QPR take on Sheffield United. Obviously, let's start with Sheffield United. We've just mentioned that they lost to Leeds United. They've got to win because Burnley are on their tails. As for QPR, Sophie, QPR, they lost 2-1 to Portsmouth. They're still only about 7 points off the playoffs. So if they win this, they're technically still involved. And I do like QPR at home, but this is Sheffield United. They're obviously very good. Do you know what? It might be a little bit of a spanner in the works, but I'm going to go for a draw. 1-1.
Yeah, not just because QPR let me down last week and I backed them to get something and then your prediction played out, but I just feel like on the day Sheffield United might have a little bit too much for them. Ultimately, both teams have a lot to fight for right now, so I think they might chuck everything at it. I just feel like that's going to benefit Sheffield United more. So 2-1 to the Blades. 2-1
Sheffield United. Wow. Do let us know your thoughts down in the comments. As for the final game, Sophie, we go to Stoke City versus Watford. Stoke, we obviously have predicted them in midweek. We both backed them to beat Middlesbrough. If they lose that game and then say they lost this as well,
that's not great.
Then pressure's building. They've got to try and get at least one win in these two home games. Do I fancy them against Watford? Well, I don't know. I mean, Watford have picked up back-to-back wins now, and they're definitely back in the playoff race. I mean, Watford, they're not one of the favourites maybe to make the playoffs because on paper, West Brom, Norwich and Coventry have stronger teams and bigger budgets, but Watford are doing a good job under Cleverly this season. I think I'm going to go for a draw here. Stoke 1, Watford 1.
I might go for Watford 2-1. I do like Watford. I said before that I like a few of their players. I have obviously backed Stoke to win against Middlesbrough, so I think they might get a little bit complacent in this one and then end up losing to Watford. But yeah, if Stoke do lose against Middlesbrough and lose against Watford, both games at home, that is worrying. I know obviously they're both good teams on their day, but even still you need to be getting something from those games. So I'm backing them to get a win and then a loss. But yeah, for me right now, Watford seem to be building. on some good form. If they can keep doing that going into the playoffs, they will finish in the playoffs. It's just whether they can be consistent enough. So I think they'll back it up with another win, 2-1.
2-1 to Watford. And Stoke City's next game after this one is against Coventry. Mark Robins is coming home. There you go, guys. That wraps up. Robins returns. Yeah. There you go. That wraps up the Championship predictions, guys. Do be sure to share your predictions down in the comments. We are going to be back before next Tuesday's games. There's quite a few games next week. It's going to be a bit of a scramble to get it all done. But your support is appreciated, so drop a like. Make sure to subscribe. And thank you for joining me, Sophie.
Thank you.
We will see you in the next one. Take care. Peace out.